Squidward's family tree explains everything. Not just why he is bitter or hates his job.
Grandma! Someone's been cooking my recipe.
But why disappointment follows him no matter how hard he tries. He did not choose misery. It was inherited, shaped by generations of ignored artists, failed performers, and unrealized potential. Once you see where Squidward comes from, his behavior stops feeling random and starts feeling inevitable. The origin pattern. The earliest figure connected to Squidward's lineage is not refined, polite, or artistic. It is prehistoric. Squidosaurus rex first appears as a towering octopus-dinosaur hybrid, a creature that feels less like a joke and more like a prototype. Whether he is officially canon almost does not matter, because the resemblance is impossible to ignore. The same tall dome of a head, the same long unmistakable nose, the same posture that somehow communicates irritation even without language. From the very beginning, the tentacles line looks out of place. Unlike Squidward and his later ancestors, Squidosaurus is aggressive and feral. But even here, the emotional pattern is already forming. He exists alone. He is misunderstood. He is powerful, yet disconnected from the world around him. He does not belong, and the world does not know what to do with him. Squidosaurus does not feel like the start of greatness. He feels like the start of friction. A warning sign that this family was always going to struggle against its environment rather than thrive within it. And that pattern does not fade with evolution. It sharpens. Fast forward to the episode, and we meet Squag, the first true biological tentacles ancestor. Squag lives in isolation, painting quietly on cave walls. He wants peace, he wants space, and he is constantly disrupted by SpongeGar and Patar, whose joy is loud, invasive, and impossible to escape. The dynamic is instantly familiar. Even without spoken language, Squag communicates frustration through drooping eyelids, a permanent scowl, and a deep desire to create without interruption. What makes this moment unsettling is not just that Squag is an artist, it is that his art is genuinely good. Where Squidward's paintings are laughed at, Squag's cave art shows real talent. And that makes everything worse, because it establishes something dangerous in the family line. They were never untalented. They were simply never valued. And that wound does not disappear. It becomes hereditary. The false hope ancestors. As time moves forward, the Tentacles family produces figures who seem, at first glance, to break the pattern. Tentacles the Hun stands out as a massive warrior, armored, confident, and remembered as powerful and respected. Then, there is Tentacles the Serpent Slayer, a legendary figure wrapped in heroic imagery and dramatic reputation. These ancestors matter not because we know much about them, but because Squidward knows they existed. They represent the exception, the proof that someone in this bloodline once mattered. And that knowledge does damage. When greatness exists in your family history, failure does not feel neutral. It feels comparative. Squidward is not just unsuccessful. He is unsuccessful in the shadow of someone who made it. That contrast quietly poisons ambition. Effort turns into obsession. Hope turns into resentment. Every attempt to improve becomes a reminder of what he is not. So even though these figures are only half remembered, they loom over him. They become the silent benchmark he measures himself against, the unreachable standard that turns every small failure into something heavier. They are not inspiration. They are under pressure. The artistic curse begins, everything changes in the medieval era. In the episode Dunces and Dragons, we meet Squiddy Tentacles, the court jester. Squiddy exists to entertain people who do not respect him. He sings, he performs, he plays the clarinet badly. And when he fails to amuse the king, he is punished. What makes Squiddy important is not the joke. It is the humiliation. Squiddy knows he is not good at the clarinet. He admits it openly. Unlike Squidward, he does not pretend otherwise. But that honesty does not save him. He is still forced to perform, still laughed at, still treated as disposable entertainment. In a moment of bitterness and frustration, Squiddy curses his bloodline. If he never learns to play with ease, may his descendants suffer tenfold. Whether that curse is real does not matter, because emotionally, it lands. From this point forward, something in the Tentacles family shifts. Art is no longer an expression, it becomes an expectation. Performance without appreciation, talent without reward, effort without dignity. This is where the relationship between the Tentacles family and art turns toxic. Art stops being something you love. It becomes something you need, something you cling to, just to prove that you are not worthless. Service jobs and quiet resignation. As we move closer to modern times, the Tentacles family stops chasing glory and starts surviving. Hop along. Tentacles works as a bartender in a dusty cantina. He has musical aspirations. He deals with rude customers. He pours drinks for people who do not care who he is. The similarities to Squidward are impossible to ignore, but there is one key difference. Hopalong seems calmer, resigned. He has already passed through disappointment and come out the other side. Still functional, still polite, still alive. He has accepted the limits of his world, even if he does not love them, which raises a quiet and uncomfortable question. Is Squidward still fighting for the life he wants, or is he slowly becoming Hopalong, only without the acceptance that makes survival bearable? Then there is Fishmail Tentacles, a drifter, a wandering musician, a man constantly pulled into situations he did not choose. Fishmail is used, dismissed, and mocked at every turn. And when everything collapses around him, he turns to music not to impress anyone, but to calm the chaos he has been trapped inside. That detail matters. Music is no longer an ambition, it is survival. Fishmail walks away embarrassed and bitter, his version of events ignored, a failed narrator of his own life. This is Squidward in prototype form, a man with a rich inner world, trapped in an outer world that refuses to listen. The warning figure. Every family tree has a warning. For the Tentacles family, it is Teddy Tentacles, known as the Sucker. We know very little about him, but we know enough. He dresses sharply, carries himself with dignity, and is still labeled a fool by the world. The nickname alone suggests betrayal, misplaced trust, and dreams quietly exploited. Teddy represents the endpoint of this family's pattern. What happens when you keep caring long after the world has stopped caring back? He is not loud or dramatic. He is simply tired. And for Squidward, Teddy is not just an ancestor. He is a reflection of what the future looks like if nothing ever changes. The immediate family damage. By the time we reach Squidward's immediate family, the damage is no longer symbolic. It is personal. Grandma Tentacles is harsh, critical, and quick to accuse. Affection and disappointment arrive in the same breath. From her, Squidward inherits the voice that tells him nothing is ever quite good enough, no matter how hard he tries. Then there is Jeff Tentacles, Squidward's father. For years, we are told he never hugged his son, which already explains more than most jokes ever could. When we finally see Jeff, he appears tired and unfulfilled, like a man who quietly believes his best years never happened. And then comes the twist. Jeff is not distant, he is loud. A prankster. A man who turns emotion into jokes. Instead of affection, he offers humiliation disguised as humor. For a child like Squidward, that is devastating. Because you are not ignored, you are turned into entertainment. And finally, Squidward's mother. Overbearing in a gentle way, loving but suffocating. Supportive but quietly disappointed. Her affection always comes with pressure, a constant reminder that more was expected. This is the emotional home Squidward grows up in. Not cruelty, just constant evaluation. The fork in the bloodline. Squidward's extended family shows that the curse is not universal. Squeeze Tentacles represents apathy. No ambition, no pressure, just disengagement. Squidman represents something more radical, joy. He enjoys life without needing to be impressive, which proves something dangerous. Happiness is possible, but only if you let go of expectation. Then there is Squilliam Fancy, the possible cousin and mirror image, the success story.
Hey, there might be some spare change in these pockets.
Squilliam represents everything Squidward wants to be: respected, admired, validated. Every appearance reopens the wound, because Squidward does not just want success. He wants acknowledgement, and Squilliam has all of it. At the end of this long, exhausting lineage stands Squidward Tentacles, a cashier, a failed artist, a man convinced he was meant for more. And yet, he keeps going. He plays music alone, not to impress, but because it still gives him peace. He paints not for galleries, but to preserve identity. And in rare moments of honesty, he admits that SpongeBob's presence makes life less empty. Squidward did not fail because he lacked talent. He failed because he inherited expectations without support. Found family, and then comes the final twist. Through adoption, Squidward technically has two brothers, SpongeBob and Patrick. They are loud, annoying, and exhausting. But they show up, they care without conditions, and they include him even when he resists. And maybe that is why Squidward never leaves. Because after centuries of rejection, he finally has something close to family. Squidward's family tree is not tragic because everyone failed. It is tragic because everyone tried. And Squidward is still trying. So the next time you watch SpongeBob SquarePants, do not laugh at Squidward's bitterness. Pay attention to where it comes from. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like the video, subscribe for more deep dives into animation and hidden storytelling, and let me know in the comments which Tentacles ancestor changed how you see Squidward the most. I will see you in the next one.